Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology and happy Valentine's Day on this snowy and cold, what would otherwise be a miserable day if it weren't for the warmth of Valentine's Day. And when I talk about warmth of Valentine's Day, I'm talking about the warm feelings I have about you guys and hopefully in return, because we are family on a journey to discover cool tech, cool records, all kinds of cool stuff like that. So welcome along and thank you for taking a moment today, whether you're watching the replay or watching us live, to enjoy a little time with me. I really, really appreciate that. Kind of give you an update, a couple of things that are going on in my life and specifically in the life of the show. Some cool stuff we got planned and just to chit chat with you guys. Now, let me talk for a minute about my setup tonight. So if you see me going like this, I got the computer over here. So the comments and the video feed and everything I'm seeing right here, even though the camera's over there. So when I look over here, I'm addressing you. When I look over here, I'm reading comments and don't want you to think I'm distracted or anything. But if I put the camera where the laptop is, then the shot's not going to look good. And if I put the laptop where the camera is, it's kind of hard to operate. So forgive me for back and forth. I'm not distracted. I am still doing this call, still doing this event, this live. There you go. There's the word. So welcome in. I hope you guys are having a great Valentine's Day. Now tell me, always like it when you guys check in. So John checking in from New Jersey. And when you do so in the comments, tell me what the temperature is. Because here in Colorado, it is, in fact, I'll give you a live temperature check here. Let us see what the temperature is. It's 0. It literally is 0. It is bitter cold, absolutely bitter cold. And it's been, below 0. So, we're just like praying the pipes in the house don't freeze. And it was like -8 this morning, just nasty. The kind of cold where you can't do anything. Now, people up north, Minnesota, Canada are going to be like, you really having a hard time with that? And then people, down in Florida are like, why would you live there? So there you go. Jack of all trades, happy Valentine's Day to you as well and everybody else. -20 in Oklahoma? Come on now. It's not negative. Is it -20 for real? Real Oliver says, they have a reputation for, especially with the I missed the first part of that comment apparently. But any questions you guys have, comments, concerns, anything, let me know, even if it's to say your hat looks stupid. That's okay. It's better than the hair. So let's just go. It's a hair cover up. That's what we're talking about here. Evening from Essex. Wow. 11 degrees tomorrow. Yeah, it's just been all across the U.S. here. It's just been brutally cold. And really looking forward to summer. So today, it's so cold. My wife and I, we just been staying home mostly. Although we did go, she surprised me by taking me to an antique store, not just an antique store, but an antique mall, and just spent, some time wandering around in there. And do we find treasures? Yes, we did. Didn't buy anything huge, but bought some treasures, some really, really cool stuff. So I will be putting up a video hopefully today. I plan on putting up a video today in which I show you some of the cool stuff that was there that I didn't get, and the couple of things that we did get. And they're going to make for interesting content down the road in and of themselves. Now, speaking of shows, I want to address yesterday. No show went up yesterday. Not because I didn't make one. I made the show that went up this morning yesterday. I usually do the show's day of, if you didn't know that. I'm so in the moment. My interests go from minute to minute. I have to ride that wave. Otherwise, it's stale. And if I pre-produce stuff, like if, we go on vacation or something, it's about the only time I would pre-produce shows, and it's hard because I feel like I want to have that, what I'm interested in today. I want to convey, this is a daily show. Tech Moan, all these guys, they do awesome stuff, better than I do. But do they do it daily? Can you watch a daily tech show anywhere else? I don't think many people do that. So I pride myself on that. But anyway, yesterday's show. So made the show. And, on days when it's been a long day at work or for whatever reason, I just don't have the time or energy to do editing, because that tacks on at least another hour and a half after the shooting. Sometimes I'll try to bang out a show in a solid take, and that's when it doesn't have an intro. And I don't force myself into a formula at all anymore. If you remember, our shows used to start off with the "Hey everybody, welcome to Record-ology" on camera segment. How you doing? Here's what we're doing today. Throw to the segment, go to the intro, then we come back to the hands-on stuff, then we go back to a closer. And that's an artifact, a holdout from my television days. I can't help myself, but I've forced myself to relinquish my white-knuckled grip on the ways of the past and have let that go, because if I keep it more informal, I can create more content. There were some Record-ology shows took days to edit, which is why we were only doing 1 or 2 shows a week at one point. So I would rather hang out with you guys a little bit every day. And, also we've talked about this before too a lot. We're making videos. We're not making television shows. And that's something I have to keep reminding myself. We're making videos. We're hanging out. It's interactive. It's more like a Zoom call, more like a something like that than a television show. That's something separate. So anyway, what'll happen sometimes, this happened the other day with a golden record, especially when I'm filming at 10:30 at night. And yes, it has happened to me where I've gone to bed and I'll be laying in there. I'll be like, I didn't make a show. And my wife's like, well, you better go do it. So another good reason not to have the camera on me. So anyway, I'm making, what'll happen sometimes, like with the little golden record show, is I do a one-take wonder and I upload it and I'm, happy. I'm making the thumbnail, which I would say the thumbnails are made in bed probably 98% of the time. I make the show, I post it, and I'm usually awake for about 10 minutes, watch a couple comments come in, make sure people are watching, and then I'm out. That's kind of the pattern, at least lately. But what happens sometimes is I'll upload it and I'll get a copyright strike, or not a strike. I've never got a strike. I have 0 copyright strikes, but I'll get a content ID match. So for those of you that don't know, that means I can't monetize the video. Somebody else will monetize it. And, I don't want you guys watching, ads and then that money going into the pockets of somebody else. I want that going into our investment in future content. That's so I can buy records and record players and whatever. So we have stuff to look at. I want to make it worth your while for the ads that you sit through, and I appreciate that, as do I when I watch other shows. So, so what happens is, if that happens, I have to then go and edit the show, and so that's what happens sometimes. Well, anyway, last night's show, I think it was a one-take deal, and if you'll notice, there's no close whatsoever. It just kind of stops. The camera ran out. Why did the camera run out? Well, for Valentine's Day yesterday, we went up to the Denver Aquarium restaurant, which is a huge world-class aquarium. We had reservations, and we, just did the whole experience and took a lot of pictures of fish under the sea or under the water and all kinds of cool stuff. But filled up my phone with so I didn't have enough room, is what I'm trying to say. So it's a good thing I didn't need to edit yesterday. So I'm just sitting there talking. I was about ready to wrap it up, and the camera just shuts off. No warning. I'm like, okay. Well, it doesn't shut off. Like, the video stops. It's like, you're done now. So I don't like ending it like that, but I was like, okay, whatever. They'll get it. So I go to upload the video, and it's just like a snail's pace. And that happens every once in a while. Sometimes the internet is just busy. And last night, the internet was busy. And I think with everybody home and freezing and probably streaming, I think the public internet at large was probably just overwhelmed yesterday, is my guess, because of the storms and stuff, the cold everywhere. So it just wouldn't upload. And I can do an automatic upload, but one of the things that YouTube has in place is you can't do the monetization stuff until the upload is finished. So I can set a video to upload, put all the content in there I need for the keywords, or the title, the description. I can put all of that in there and just set it to post as public if I'm confident that it's ready to go, and then go on about my business. The problem is, sometimes if you shut your phone off and you go do something else, especially if you're doing some other stuff on your phone, sometimes it will just pause the entire operation, I'll tell you. And then you're like, wow, I thought this uploaded hours ago. The other thing is you can't do the monetization stuff till it's done because it has to scan the content, make sure you don't have any copyright material in there. And so you can't do that. If I were to do that, then it would again, you'd be sitting there watching ads for supporting somebody else. So, but it was so slow. I tried uploading it multiple times. Sometimes it just gets hung up and it'll say 1 hour remaining, 2 hours, 3 hours. This was bouncing up to 24 hours remaining. I'm like, okay, so this is just dumb. So I delete the upload, start it again. Because sometimes if I do that, even if it's been churning for like an hour and a half, it'll upload in 10 minutes, which is a pretty quick time for a usual show. A minute upload per minute content. That's real fast. And, we have good, fast internet here, but you know how it is. The down is fast. Like, I probably get 85, 95 megs down. I know for people that have like fiber, that's nothing, but for good old fashioned coaxial, actually I do get fiber, but then it's down converted to coax. Anyway, the upload's only 5 megs. So you know how it is, right? It's all fine and good to stream stuff, to download stuff with a high bandwidth, but what's your upload? And for me, 5 megs. So about a minute upload time per finished minute is about the best that I can do. And so what was going on was it was just taking forever. So the dog usually has me up at about 2 or 3 a.m. to go to the bathroom. So I'm like, let's do this for her to go to the bathroom, not me. So what I did was this. I said, let's just set it to automatic. I'll have it automatically upload to private. Therefore, I can do the things, get everything preloaded, the thumbnail, everything preloaded. And then, at 2 or 3 a.m. when I let the dog out, all I have to do is flip the switch and then turn on the monetization. So I did that and it was still at 20%. I'm like, it's 3 a.m. and it's at 20%. I could not believe it. And I think I might have started it and stopped it and started it again. And then woke up this morning and it was still at like 35%. I'm like, this is ridiculous. So it took until whenever I posted this morning before it finally, the internet was having enough bandwidth and, it went up. And anyway, that's why there was nothing yesterday. I'm just like, ugh, really annoyed. Okay. I've missed some comments. So again, camera here, computer here, bear with me as I jump into your comments, which I very much appreciate. Real Oliver 9912 said, oh yeah, that's the comment that I didn't get the first half of. Capindortos? When you account for wind chill, yes. Holy moly, -20 in Oklahoma. That's brutal. Absolutely brutal. I heard Texas had it pretty bad too. I don't smile 666. You need to smile. And maybe pick a new number. Evening from Essex. Oh yeah, we talked a minute ago. John Egan says 36 in New Jersey. Definitely not warm. 15 inches of snow in Oklahoma. Oh my goodness. We don't have a lot of accumulation in Colorado right now. We have like an inch here and there. Interesting little quick aside in terms of snowstorms. The other day, the National Weather Service in Denver picked up a very localized snowstorm. And it was sunny, clear skies everywhere else. It was cold, but there was no precipitation. There was nothing in the sky. And they picked up this like maybe a 5-mile circular patch over Commerce City, which is a very industrial area. And they're like, what in the world? So it ends up the Suncor power plant, their steam was turning into precipitation, which because of the temperature was, turned into snow. So they got like 3 inches of snow in this very almost like completely round isolated area where everybody else had sunshine and blue skies and, nothing on the ground at that point. And it's interesting. You think, well, why doesn't that happen all the time? Because they're outputting steam into the atmosphere continuously. In fact, especially during the summer, you'll see the steam kind of just turn into, they have their own cloud system, just kind of comes up, there's big stacks. And apparently there was something called an inversion where the low pressure was above and the cold pressure was trapped below and the temperature was just right. It has to have this certain circumstance for that to happen. So kind of a weird, they call it a industrial snow. It's kind of interesting. Okay. 4 degrees Celsius. That is cold. 7 inches of snow coming northwest Ohio. Mike from Medalia, Minnesota, Montana. 6 below zero. We had a low of -16, wind chill, -26 below. We're not quite that bad. So, okay, I can't complain. but it is cold. It's cold everywhere. I was watching a YouTuber. He was in California. It was like 65. He's like, it's a little chilly out. I'm like, shut up. It's Adam the Wood. You ever watch Adam? I love that guy. Love him. So he's driving from California. He does these cross-country trips all the time. And he's driving back to Florida. And boy, it's going to be cold when he hits Texas and Oklahoma for sure. The green doggo of wisdom. Your favorite green dog is here. Welcome in. Glad to have you here. Ryan says, my C100 is newly skipping every 5 seconds. How to fix? By newly skipping, do you mean that it didn't skip before and now it's skipping? If that's what you mean, oh boy. So I have my cut and paste reaction of, check out our videos on skipping records. But outside of that, I would say everything from warpage on the records. A lot of people don't realize, and I'm not saying this is you, but a lot of people with the suitcase players don't realize you can't be dancing around, that they're susceptible to the vibrations. So make sure that it's in a good, flat, isolated space with no vibrations. And the type of record, if it's because of modulation, like if it is doing it with like pop or rap or something or rock, make sure your tracking force is high enough. So the C100 ships with an Audio-Technica 3600L cartridge, which I believe is rated between 2.5 grams to 3.5 grams. So make sure that you've calibrated your tone arm to balance it, to level it to a floating position, then zero out the dial, then rotate the entire counterweight to probably 3 grams. And that should give you enough weight. So try that out. Let me know how that works. Yeah, tracking force. And the anti-skate. That's the little knob next to it. By default, you can set your anti-skate to the same value as a tracking force, although, sometimes it's not that way. Oh, you said it's set to 3.5. Okay, so it is calibrated and is set. That is interesting. 3.5 for 3600 now, yeah. Yeah, clean the record, make sure it's clean. Adam the Woo is good. Yeah, it's good stuff. Realign the cartridge. There's a lot of little things that can add up. But if it's just doing out of the blue like that, it makes you wonder. You know what I mean? It makes you really wonder. Is it a record that it hasn't skipped in the past? Interesting stuff. So what are you guys up to tonight? What's the good word? For us, what is going on tonight? Not really much else. I'm trying to think of what's going on. Son's working. Got the house to ourselves. I got some new records in, so I'm excited to show you that. That'll be in the other video. We had some cool stuff. I found a Beatles, this sneak peek here. So found a Beatles 45. I think it was A Hard Day's Night on 45. It was like behind a glass case. It was like $38 or something like that. So it was a treasure. And you come across like some of these people that have like just regular vinyl. It should be $1. And they're charging 20, 30, $45 for it and stuff. Every once in a while you find something cool. My biggest thing is right now what I'm looking for. And if any of you have this stuff and you feel led to donate, by the way, you guys can send stuff. If you want to see a review of any record, send it to the P.O. box. We used to get all kinds of stuff. Nobody sends anything anymore. We used to get all kinds of records sent. So if you want us to review stuff or whatever, feel free to do so. P.O. box information is in most descriptions and in the About tab. But I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, we got some cool records. So there you go. Tell me what you guys are up to. I want to learn all about what you are doing. Oh, yeah. What am I looking for? My Holy Grail items. If you have any of these, contact me. Send me an email. I am looking for radio transcription discs, like lacquer transcriptions. I am looking for V-discs. If you have either of those things, let me know. I want to talk to you. Ryan says he's realigned it, and it's every record. Am I using the mini disc recorder in the back? It's there. I haven't actually played with it in a while. The problem with this deck is that it has this weird anomaly where it will, when you're recording, about 50 minutes into the recording, it'll start having error messages and just kind of wig out. And it does it if you do a continuous recording up to the 50-minute, 45 to 55-minute-ish range, or if you sequentially put record 5 minutes here, then 5 more, then 5 more in separate bits. It does the same thing. However, it does record and play back, and I had this like near-death experiences with that transport. In fact, I bought a transport and replaced the transport and destroyed the record head on one of the transports, and I learned the hard way, usually on everything in life, but that was so it does work. However, I don't think any of my portables work, which is really annoying. By the way, the Tecmo portable with the PDA type touchscreen, that was cool. I like that. I would love to have a working mini disc player portable. That would be good. Hey, John, thank you. I really appreciate that. How long have I had that unit? I've had it about a year. Are you talking to me or are you talking to Ryan? If you're talking to Ryan, I can't answer that. Try laying a coin on the head shell. And the thing with that is if it gets too much tracking force, then you can't carve up your records and the stylus be overwhelmed. I see Pizza Boy says, my Techniques SL1100A tone arm will never balance, so I require a digital scale. I bought one finally. I finally bought a digital scale. I know. Why didn't I do it before? It was like $12. I got to the point where I needed to make that happen. So I'm thinking of other show ideas where we verify and compare tracking weights. I still don't know why. I think it's back there now. That common mechanism that on all these Crosleys, that one on that particular spinneret tracks so heavy. And I'd seen other people say, yeah, it tracks 6.5 grams, just way too much, like double what the 3600L can do. And it carved up my Enoch Light record, which I was kind of pissed about. So yeah, I was really bummed. It was like, what the heck? I got to do some more investigation, but first I want the digital scale in order to make that happen. So it's just a cheap digital scale, but for our purposes, I think it should be fine. The warning that it's reaching the end of the disc probably. Well, it's interesting. So it's not like that kind of a warning. It's a failure. I'm trying to think of exactly what it says. It starts making kind of a weird noise, and I forget the error message. I'm gonna have to check it again, but yeah, lubricated the transport, and it's got the good metal transport. It's before they started putting in the cheap plastic transports. It's got the record head and the laser are all clean. Everything's in good working order. It did it with both mechanisms. I swapped it out. So it's whatever is happening, it's at the IC level or at least the PCB level. So it's hard to say why, but I need to play around with that some more. I really do, because I do like that format. I just got so burnt on dropping all this money on these portables, and every one of them had a problem. Every one of them. Yeah, it's not just a run out of time warning, unfortunately. I wish it was. Oh, sorry, you were talking to Ryan. Well, there you go. But there you go. I've had it for about a year now, If you're looking for a new machine, records 1970 or 2000, the ones that go for it, currently using Sony, it's reliable. That's cool. Yeah, I had two green. So this is a funny story. This is what happened. Here's how I ended up with this. So I had two green, I forget the model number, like 2002, 2003 Sony mini disc players, and they were the LP models. That's another thing. I like LP. This one does not do LP because I used it for the same thing that I use the cassette tapes for, and that is to record movie audio. So what I would do is just record the movies, and I'd use that at night to again to fall asleep to it. I love listening to movies at night. Lately, I've been watching or listening to Odd Couple a lot, Grumpy Your Old Men. Those are great movies, among other ones. Westerns I love. But anyway, so I had two of these Sonys, and I didn't need two Sonys. And Fardamark, my friend Peter, great YouTuber, by the way, he had the deck, and he was looking for a portable. So we worked out a trade. I'm like, tell you what, I'll send you a portable. He sent me the deck. And he's like, okay, deal. So he sends me the deck, and I send him the portable. Unfortunately, I'm an idiot, and I put the portable literally in a bubble wrap mailer with maybe one extra wrap, a double bubble wrap. It gets there, DOA. Doesn't work. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I'm having him check everything that I can think of. It's completely dead. By the way, those are cool ones because they run on one single AA, or you can get the little side caddy. But they were after they finally gave up the gum stick batteries, which I think was probably a smart idea. So it would run forever on one AA. It was genius. But anyway, so I'm like, well, the right thing to do is to give him the other one because, he kept his end of the bargain and I was too stupid to wrap mine well. So I sent off the other one. So I was without a portable. And then in the process, what was it? Oh, yeah. It was because he told me about that problem that he had with this. I should have just left it alone. He's like, yeah, it has this weird thing. In 50 minutes, it'll wig out and stop. I forget the error message it gives you, but he told me about the problem. And I'm like, I could fix it. So I take the thing apart and I literally pop the read-write magnetic head, or not read-write, the record head, I'm talking about, the magnetic head off. And it's on a very thin ribbon assembly. Snap the thing off. And you would need like a micro machine size tools, to fix this. So I was like, dang it. So I ruined it. It was play only at that point. And he's super nice. He's like, tell you what, I'll record some discs for you. And I was like, okay, but I really want a portable. I thought I would use the deck to record stuff on and then the portable to listen to it on. So my whole plan here is falling apart before my eyes and ears. So, so what did I end up doing? So yeah, I got a portable. I found one for like $18 and it was from like, it was, Eastern Bloc. I mean, it took a month to get here. And they said it worked fine and it got here and it within a week wasn't working at all. Wouldn't do anything. And I tried fixing that and destroyed it in the process. I'm not good at fixing stuff. And there have been periods of time when my wife has banned me from even trying. But I'm like, you know what? That's kind of the show here. You got this clown who is passionate about this stuff, but he's not good. So kind of people are just like eating popcorn and smiling, waiting for the fail. It's a unique place I've got. No other YouTube channel like it. I'm not trying to be like, oh yeah, I'll tell you blah, 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 blah. It's just, I'm literally just, let's hang out with this stuff. So after you watch it, it's kind of like, oh, this buddy of mine this weekend was playing with, his minidisc player and destroyed the whole thing. The kind of stories you tell and experiences you have while holding a beer. It's kind of what this show's like. So anyway, after the near-death experience of this, buying the replacement parts, getting it back together, and swearing I would never try to fix it again, bought the portable. I destroyed it. I can't say it was destroyed. I destroyed it. And then it's Peter right now. He's probably telling me to shut up, stop telling these stories. Got another one and similar story. So it's not working that good. It plays. I don't think it records. And so I kind of was like burnt on mini discs to answer your question. Okay, let me get caught up on comments here. I'm not going to stay on very long, you guys. Let's see. Plus, I got a DoorDasher almost here. So it's a cold day. I don't want to go out again. I love mini discs, but they are very useless in the 21st century with CDs and vinyl. I'm rebalancing the tone arm now. Fingers crossed, Ryan. Good luck. I'm sorry I'm behind on comments here, guys. So this is probably already old news at this point, so my apologies. My stereo now has 3 turntables hooked up, 2 cassette decks, and 1 reel-to-reel, and a Sony Discman D131. Hey, D131. That's my favorite Discman. I love it. Green Doggo Wisdom says, I was listening to vinyl rips from the Spinneret from various reviews, and wow, the flutter is bad. Ryan says, Record-ology, how far should the stylus be from the record when you balance it? Try to do it right next to the rest. That's kind of the neutral position. So just off the rest, just a little bit. So between the rest and the edge of the record. And yeah, you don't need to put a record on while balancing it because that'll take it. I agree with you. I don't smell 666. Scott says, I gave myself an intervention over buying old electronics and trying to. That's kind of where I'm at. Seriously. Oh, when I said record, I meant the platter. Yeah. So between the platter and the rest, that's perfect. Right in there. Keep the tone. Yeah, exactly, guys. Hey, well, thank you guys so much for jumping on here with me. How long do we go? 30 minutes. See, to me, it feels like 5 minutes. My wife is like, I was like, I'm just going to jump on for 15 minutes and hang out with everybody. She's like, 15 minutes to you is really like an hour and a half in real life, just so you know. Time warp, right? So anyway, I want to say thank you so very much to each and every one of you for being there, for putting up with our little ups and downs and my learning lessons, which are your entertainment, hopefully. Always appreciate your comments, suggestions, and I really appreciate you guys. So thank you so much. Hope you're having a great Valentine's Day wherever you are, and stay safe out there. And thank you again for everything. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned for later tonight. We're gonna have one more video, and then we'll see you tomorrow. So I'll let you guys go. It's time for dinner. We'll see you guys. Take care.